There is unfortunately a trend going around where people are posting a lot of stuff for clicks that isn't necessarily true because they want to hear things and the audience wants to hear certain things. And this is one of those cases. Obviously, everybody loves Marvel Rivals and the designs of Marvel Rivals and what goes on with that. It's a very popular game. Everybody hates Marvel Comics, and it's a disaster over there. So it's very easy to just get caught up in this and go, oh, Marvel Comics doesn't even understand why Marvel Rivals isn't a success. They're a disaster, and this is what's going on here. Now, this isn't Grum's fault. Grum saw the headline here, and he saw that there's a problem here. And this is where our channel really differentiates from a lot of people. We just tell the truth, and we tell the truth in gaming journalism, in comics journalism. Very, very important over here. I get verified sources for things, and I do deep dive researches into things, and so does my partner John Trent, who actually works with me at Fandom Pulse. We actually started Fandom Pulse because of Bounding Into Comics' bad business practices. If you don't know, John Trent founded Bounding Into Comics a long time ago, and because of that, he eventually sold the company in 2018. That company sold again later on, and that second company that bought it is a big conglomerate that actually does a bunch of advertising testing and things like that. They're a big corporate media, and immediately what they told John Trent at the time was, we're going to have to tone you down. You're not allowed to criticize the LGBTQ agenda and the like. They actually told him that they wanted to go for Disney access at the time. And so there was a big problem there. John Trent said, I'm not going to compromise my journalistic integrity. I'm not going to compromise my morals. And he left. I left shortly thereafter because they actually censored a piece of mine calling out feminist whisper networks inside the comic book industry, which I've been fighting against for a long time. So the two of us started Fandom Pulse. This is on Substack, and the reason that we are able to tell the truth 100% all the time is we do not rely on advertising whatsoever. We just have people like you support us, and we do this full time without having to, of course, work with any masters or have to work on any clickbait for extra clicks and things like that. We can just tell what is true, and that's it. And that's why we have a variety of topics. If you look at this, I just posted about leather-bound books right here, Castalia Library Spring Sale, just because I'm interested in collecting books, right? And so we can talk about cool things like these beautiful leather-bound collections of the Roman Plutarch and stuff like that. That's not trending topics, right? We've also got information on the board game industry, what's going on. We've got comic news. We've got gaming news. It's very important. Great stuff over here. So I'm going to put this in the description below. This is a great thing, too. Fandom Pulse is when you sign up, we don't have to rely on algorithms at all. YouTube has an algorithm thing, too. That's why a lot of people over here have the same issue. I remember when the Kathleen Kennedy fired stuff was going around about a month ago. It was clearly not the case, and when you call it out and say, look, this isn't actually happening, this is what was actually said, the algorithm doesn't prioritize it because the outrage clicks is what gets you there. So, unfortunately, Grumps fell for this headline right here, but Bounding Into Comics is very, very dishonest, and you gotta just avoid that website at all costs. Those are not good people over there, and they are doing this sort of stuff just for clicks for what goes on. And so we'll get into this news in just a moment, and we'll show you the reactions. The thing is, this gets a lot of visceral reactions, and that's why these people do it. So, guys, this is the honest place for gaming news. We are building a movement on truth, justice, and the American way. Those are our mantras over here. Really appreciate you for being here. So please hit the like and subscribe, and do sign up for Fandom Pulse in the description below. So if you look at it, like I said, there's a lot of visceral reactions here. Marvel Comics has been Disney-fied, even when the MCU was popular. The Disney agenda, yes, this is true. And of course, Marvel Comics sucks, and that's why this is getting a visceral response. I came back into comics as all new Marvel was rolling out. Those comics sucked. They really did. But again, this doesn't have much to do with the topic. But the people want to react because of this topic here. Now, Grums is not wrong. Marvel Comics uglified, gender-flipped, race-swapped, and filled their comics with modern politics and more. They don't see the problem and never will. That's why the print division is toast and losing year after year to manga. Now, all of those are true statements, but this doesn't have to do with what Bounding said. Now, Bounding said, Marvel Comics executive editor says Marvel Rivals has no effect on print plans. Believes character popularity, quote, has more to do with play mechanics than it does the characters themselves. And if you want to parse this out, we'll get into this in just a second. Look, they did the thing that journalists often do where they have part of it in quotes, but right here says Marvel Rivals has no effect on print plans, like this part, which is the big thing. And if Marvel Rivals really did have no effect on print plans, it's a pretty big story. I was going to cover it too and be like, wow. But then I clicked on the article and actually clicked on what was said by this guy for real. It's not true, is the whole problem here. They did not say that Marvel Rivals has no effect on their print plans. They, in fact, said the opposite. And that's where it's a problem. You see, there's no quotes around this here. The quotes are here, and they make you believe their analysis based on this quote that it has more to do with mechanics than it does the characters themselves. So let's actually get into their article, and they actually ran with this, saying that Marvel Rivals is opening the door for some of the publisher's lesser-known characters. Marvel executive editor says that it's a given hero's in-game popularity has no bearing on their comic book future. And again, he didn't say that. So this is where they just completely made this up. The Hero Shooter's core player base has little interest in checking out its actual source material. It's actually true on a lot of fronts, even though Tom Brevoort did not say that. So you go to his blog here, which is where Tom Brevoort actually said things, and Tom Brevoort talks a lot. He's the editor of the X-Men line. He says a lot of stupid things a lot of the time. He is a rabid leftist, and so it's very easy to immediately just go, "Oh, what an idiot!" Right? And he is. let's not mince anything words there. But he did not say what Bounding Into Comics claimed. And so if you go to Cloak and Dagger, where he's actually responding about this stuff, this is the question they get. Is there any thing we can anticipate for Cloak and Dagger in the next year? Feels like they've never been more popular than they are right now, thanks to Marvel Rivals, and I'd just love to see them at the very least have more team-up appearances in major books. So this person is asking for it, and apparently they're popular in Marvel Rivals. And again, a lot of the characters that are popular in Marvel Rivals are popular because of their mechanical abilities. This is very true, and their designs. A lot of the designs look very beautiful and nice, and so those two things are what make a character popular within the context of the video game. That doesn't mean there's people rushing out to buy Cloak and Dagger comics, and I guarantee you that Tom Brevoort's right here in his analysis that there's probably not a lot of people doing that. I actually read a lot of Cloak and Dagger back in the day when they were doing their runs of miniseries, when they spawned out of Spectacular Spider-Man. A lot of people didn't know that. I'm a huge comic book guy here, guys. This is kind of my jam. But Cloak and Dagger books have traditionally never been successful. They've not done very well. They get a miniseries here and there. Usually they work okay as like backups in, guest stars in different series. But unfortunately, like they're just not a character that's a team up that's really caught on. And so this is what he says. I tell you, Joe, I tend to think that popularity in Marvel Rivals likely has more to do with play mechanics than it does with the characters themselves. So this is the quote that they used in the headline, right? And remember the headline, no effect on print plans. He has not said that it has no effect on print plans, but he has said why the popularity is. This is 100% true right here. I think this is true as well. I think it does have to do with the play mechanics, which is to say that I haven't seen any major correlation between popularity in the game and a rise of interest in the character in print. So he knows this. He is at the company. So is there a interest in popularity? I mean, let's hope he has his finger on the pulse there. Probably, I would say this is probably true. You might get a couple looksy-loos out there who are going out there, hey, do you got any Cloak and Dagger stories? I've been playing it. But if you go into any comic shop right now and ask them, is Cloak and Dagger like in high demand? I guarantee you they don't get many questions for it. I would stake money on that. And he says, except maybe one or two outliers. So he says sometimes it does happen, but in this case, in a lot of cases, it doesn't. Now, remember, Bounding says they're not adjusting their print plans. They have no effect for their print plans, and that's what got the outrage going, the crowd going, oh, Marvel's so stupid. Wow. Well, this is what he says. It's the opposite. That said, we are planning to do something with Cloak and Dagger in the near future so that potential audiences will have something to look at. So he literally says they are making a comic with Cloak and Dagger in it in the near future because of this potential audience from Marvel Rivals. He does say that doesn't usually make a character more popular in the comics, and that's something that they know from the industry. However, they're still doing it because they do want to try to capitalize on that and try to capitalize on that interest. So has no effect on print plans. He literally said the opposite. Bounding Into Comics lied here. And this is the whole problem with a lot of outrage media right now, guys. And so I know this is not a popular take to have. I know that's a thing. This is the type of thing, honestly, it's really sad. It loses you subs because people want to hear something so badly about things. It's like there's certain video games out there that if you criticize it, they want that game to be good so much that they will not allow any criticism of the game. I don't know how social media got to this point. It's really, really sad on this level. But this is exactly what they're trying to exploit here. And as you can see, they've got a lot of views on this because this is getting retweeted, reposted. People are making videos on it. It's all over, but nobody did the research into what was actually said. They just went on Bounding's word. And we can't do that, especially with a company like Bounding Into Comics. They've been proven to censor conservatives, and of course to change their whole business model. This company just absolutely pooped the bed, and they're desperate for clicks right now because they live on a model where they need clicks, and that is unfortunately the way a lot of social media stuff works right now. A lot of outrage based on this, but it's wrong. I mean, I hate to defend Tom Brevoort, who, like I said, has done a lot of bad work at Marvel Comics, and I'm not a fan of the guy, but he did not say this here. It's really just the truth. All right. Thank you guys for letting me tell the truth. I'm glad you're with me. And if you appreciate the truth, please subscribe to the channel. Join us here, guys, because we are fighting the culture war for real. And this is exactly what we need to do. We don't need to make up stuff that these guys are saying. They're injecting DEI into everything. It's a disaster. It's very easy just to report on what's going on. And that's what we always do. And Fandom Pulse is very committed to doing this. This is why we're growing so fast. Get on here, guys. Just go to fandompulse.com, sign up. There's a free version. If you want to contribute, there's a paid version, of course. And that's so helpful to us because we're doing this full-time without advertising. And without advertising means we don't need to generate clicks off of like random clickbait headlines like that, which is so refreshing. We can talk about what we want to talk about and truly change the culture. That's what we're trying to do here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Really appreciate you. Please hit the like and subscribe button like I said. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this, and we'll be back soon.